We are with Mr. Craig Moyes, the Portfolio Director of World Travel Market. We're speaking to him about the latest upcoming two shows that WTM will be hosting, WTM Connect Asia and WTM Connect China. Mr. Moyes, would you like to share some of the thoughts of the pre-event preparations that WTM is going through, and how is Travel Exhibitions excited about the event?
Okay, so that's some great questions, lots of questions there. So in the WTM portfolio, as you may know, we have World Travel Market London, been around for a long time. It's 2 weeks away, we'll have 50,000 people there. It's a huge juggernaut of a show, very, very successful. Next spring we have Arabian Travel Market coming round again, followed by WTM Africa and WTM Latin America, and these are our big conventional trade shows, some of which have a small hosted buyer element included in those, and they're all going very well. But we were conscious, going back probably about 18 months ago, that we actually didn't have an event under the WTM portfolio in Asia or in China. Now within Travel Exhibitions we do have some events in that part of the world. We have WTM Asia, which is in Shanghai, International Luxury Travel Market, and we also have WTM, which is really a MICE event in Beijing, but we didn't have an event in the leisure space. So we spent quite a long time researching the market in terms of how travel and tourism is conveyed or conducted in that part of the world, but also what other trade shows were around. So we did quite a bit of competitive analysis, and then we also talked to our clients and what they liked about the existing events that they were either going to or weren't going to, and how they were really getting business from that region. And it seemed to us that what most of our clients were saying was that they wanted great value, they wanted great return on investment, and they wanted most of all to have great return on their time. So they wanted pretty much a guarantee that really by coming to an event they were going to meet the buyers. And what we've looked at doing is, I guess, replicating some of the other formats from WTM, for example, where the format pretty much is exhibitors come in, sit down at a pre-built pod, if you like, so they don't have to do anything, and basically the buyers come to them. And these buyers are pre-qualified by us, and the meetings are nearly all scheduled beforehand. So from an exhibitor perspective, in 2.5 days they could have up to 30 appointments with qualified buyers that they know are going to be good buyers. And they don't have to build a booth, they don't have to pay to build a booth, they can just come in. It's a one-stop shop, if you like, all really nice and easy. Within 3 days they will have met those buyers. They will have enjoyed something fantastic, a great experience, because we'll have a fun element to it as well. They would have spent those 3 days probably with 300 or so like-minded people. That's a great use of their time, a great use of their money, and business will come from that. So we only launched these events just a couple of weeks ago, and so far the take-up has been very encouraging.
Fantastic. You have almost answered this next question, which I would love to ask you. It's about speaking about the demand that Asia is generating right now in terms of travel industry. Would you like to say that how would you describe the importance of these two events in terms of the other travel trade shows that are happening in Asia, and how it will be different from the other shows?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you look at the overall tourism figures, you can see that inbound and outbound of Asia and outbound China, even though you might say, well, recently in the news we all know that China, the rate of growth has slowed a bit, and it is true, the rate of outbound tourism for China has slowed, but it's still one of the highest growing rates in the world, and most tourist boards, international tourist boards, are looking for Chinese visitors as they are for Asian visitors. So if you look at the kind of macro tourism or macroeconomic indicators, absolutely Asia and China is the place to be. And as I was saying just a moment or two ago, what we look to do with this format of this event is provide something very intensive that gives real business return to our exhibitors, because the buyers are coming to them that we pre-qualify, and that in a very short space of time, not only will they get that commercial return, but they will also enjoy themselves. Because the other thing I think that's important is the experience. Whether that is coming to Penang and enjoying the cuisine or seeing what else is around there, it is the business, but it's also it's the emotional part of going to an event. What you leave with, what you connect with, the people you've met, and the business you've done. So business is important, and I think nowadays people are time poor. Time spent, they want to spend that well. They do not want to be mucking about or waiting for somebody who perhaps might come to their booth or not. They want some kind of guarantee, and nothing is absolutely guaranteed in this world, but they want a better indication that they can more easily achieve their aims, and the money they invest with us, they will know that they're going to get a better return on that.
WTM Connect probably promises live panel discussions and debate with focused educational content, offering a fresh perspective on destinations. Would you like to share a thought on that?
Yes, so the format for both events, and I should explain that WTM Asia, they're both in late May 2016, but WTM Asia is on the Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and WTM China is on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the immediate week after. So, for example, some clients, we're pretty sure, and we know because they've already booked, will be doing both events. So in 7 or 8 days, if you include the flying and the travelling, depending on where you're coming from, you can do both events. You can meet the Asian outbound buyers, you can meet the Chinese outbound buyers. But to your question, so each event is 3 days long. The first of those days actually is what you were just describing. It's kind of our panel discussion or our speakers. And that really lasts for 3 or 4 hours on each of those events. And days 2 and 3 are the business meetings, the actual, every 20 minutes you're going to meet a buyer. And the evenings we have various gala dinners and things like that going on. So our educational program, or our seminar program, will be short and intensive, really exploring what's going on in those markets for both inbound and outbound in the case of Asia, and for China it's all outbound buyers. So we'll be looking to have various streams on what international suppliers need to do to attract the Chinese outbound buyer, and we'll be using our Chinese outbound buyers in the nicest possible way to help explain that to our international product.
Fantastic. Speaking about, you said that you will be having pre-qualified buyers.
Yes.
How do you pre-qualify them, on the basis of what?
Right, so that is the crux of the whole thing, really, isn't it? And we've had a lot of experience in doing that, of course, at Travel Exhibitions. That is what we do for all of our IBTM events and all of our ILTM events. And if you like, we act as a very friendly policeman. We ask buyers to apply, and we've already, for WTM Connect Asia and China, had about 700 applicants. So that's people that have come to us. However, now begins the process of checking through to see if, frankly speaking, they are buyers that we want to put in front of our exhibitors. And we will do that a number of ways. First of all, we will ask them to supply us with lots of information about business they have previously done, which we will check to see if the suppliers they say they've done business with have actually had business from them. We will look into their previous buying accounts, if you like, and how much they've spent, and we will cross-check that to see if that's real. We will then ask them about their future buying. Now, of course, future means it's not set in stone, but nevertheless, we're looking for indications. We might use third parties to help us qualify, so that the buyer called Craig Moyes is Craig Moyes. He is who he says he is. He has worked for Company A for a long time. So we really go into a lot of detail. I can almost tell you now that of those 700 people that have expressed some interest, I'd be surprised if more than 100 or 120 actually make it to become buyers to our shows. So what we're not in the business of, if hosting buyers who think they're coming just because they enjoy a fan trip to Penang, or in the Chinese case come down to Hainan, we're not in the business of bringing people who are frankly going to waste our exhibitors' time. So your question is a very sensible question, and it's what these events, all of them, succeed or fail by. And in an event like this, there is nowhere to hide. It's not like a big trade show with thousands of people walking around. It's very intense, and it's very obvious if you've got that wrong. So, there's no way we would be able to guarantee and say we'll get that right 100% of the time, but we'll be looking for the 90% plus. Sometimes people do creep through and it was a mistake. Or sometimes you need, a buyer might not have the breadth of buying that we want. So I can assure you that we'll end up rejecting, in the nicest possible way and very properly, we will end up rejecting far more than actually will it be accepting.
Well, this information will be very kind for our readers as well. To add to that, how will you like to say something about how are you planning to promote these two events on digital platforms as well as traditional platforms in terms of social media, in terms of digital marketing and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, of course, nowadays you have to be part of that community. Life's moved on. We will use all forms of social media to spread the word. Gone are the days of doing everything in a kind of traditional way. People source their own travel and tourism products in a different way. So, we're in the process of putting all that together. But I think you'll see a lot more from us in that particular respect over the next few weeks and months.
Fantastic. Do you have a theme for these two events?
A theme
for
yes.
This?
Yes, we do. So we have a dedicated sales team, a dedicated marketing team, and a dedicated host to buyer team, to go back to your earlier question. They work exclusively on these two events. So they're part of the WTM portfolio, but actually there's a team of about 5 or 6 people who are working exclusively on these two events.
Well, you have already spoken about the personal pods and personal meeting pods, but to wrap up with it, would you like to share your excitement about these pods and these innovative features of these meeting pods?
Well, yeah, I mean, it does. At the end of the day, trade shows, our role, if you like, we're market makers. We are bringing buyers and sellers together. That's our role in any trade show. This one, or this format, is the ultimate for that, if you like, because we brought 2 people together in a room, and what we need to do is just create the right ambience for that conversation to take place. So the hard work is done before the show, to be honest. The easy bit is now the face-to-face bit, at least easy bit for us, because we've pre-scheduled everything. Every buyer knows 10 o'clock, 10:20, 10:40, 11 o'clock, they know where they're supposed to be. And the pods, what the pods do, they provide a turnkey service for the exhibitors, so they don't have to do anything. All the graphics will be there. They can plug in their computer for their internet connection. They don't have to do anything else. They can just turn up and start their meetings, and that's the point. It's a very easy, very cost-effective, straightforward, no hassle way of conducting a trade show. At the end of the show, the exhibitor just closes his laptop, takes his business cards, picks up his laptop, and he can leave. He doesn't have to worry about the booth and everything with the furniture. He'll have done everything he needs to do, and he can walk away, hopefully with a briefcase full of leads, off to convert that into proper business.
Thank you so much, Mr. Craig Moyes. It was lovely talking to you, and I hope WTM Connect Asia and WTM Connect China turns out to be one of the most enterprising show as long as WTM London.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you.